Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
The University of Utah travels to the Coliseum. Do they stand a chance against this high-powered USC offense?
In Major League Baseball, let's recap the championship series so far.
And the Utah Jazz have a point guard problem. What do we know so far?
All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ. And this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro. Pre-show cheers.
Pre-show cheers. Here we go. Cheers to you.
And cheers to you, my friends.
All right. So let's go ahead and crack into it, shall we?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about University of Utah football.
Oh, man. Go Utes.
That's right. So the 5-1 Utes, ranked number 14, is going into the Coliseum to face the USC, who is 6-1, ranked number 18. And this is the last time that these two teams are going to face as conference rivals.
That is correct, my friend. How sad.
Sad
day for the Pac-12, especially because they've had such a good year.
Yeah, it's been a good year. I think this is the most we've ever had as far as teams ranked in the top 20.
And continuously, the whole season, too, has been awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got USC coming off their loss against Notre Dame. Reigning Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams threw 3 picks and 1 touchdown pass for a final score of 48-20, just coming off his worst game of the season there. What do you think about, give me your first take. What are you thinking about USC versus Utah?
Well, this is going to be kind of a strength on strength game, kind of like we said before.
Mm-hmm.
USC is high powered, as much offense as you can possibly produce. They've got the reigning Heisman winner in Caleb Williams. They've got some excellent receivers. But in that last game, their offensive line really struggled to protect Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And if that continues into the next game against Utah, this could be a big, big problem for the Trojans, because I promise the Utes defense is coming at you.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. The Utes are coming off a win over the Cal Bears, which we actually missed the over-under by 1 point, by the way. We called the under, and it was dead on, so we missed that by 1. But both of these teams were early favorites to win the conference, and this matchup does have huge implications for the conference title, basically.
Yep.
So lots to get into here, but let me ask you this. Does the University of Utah have a shot at winning this one?
My opinion is absolutely, man.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think you listen to national media, you look at the betting line, they're going to say USC by 7. I think the Utes actually have a pretty legit chance. You want to know why?
Oh, yeah, I'm dying to know why.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. So hear me out here. Okay. Hear me out, friends and family. Okay. USC has played in 7 games so far.
Okay.
They have played San Jose State, Nevada, Stanford, Arizona State, Colorado, Arizona, and Notre Dame.
Right.
Respectfully, all of these defenses are ranked in the same order: 91st, 130th, which is dead last, 124th, 42nd, 129th, 33rd, and for the first time this season, they play a top 15 defense against Notre Dame. They're currently ranked number 14th in overall defense, and USC takes a big fat L.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
And they really struggled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a game that a lot of teams said, I mean, a lot of analysts looked at it and said, maybe USC is not quite ready to be on the national stage yet. So, with all that being said, the University of Utah currently has the 9th ranked overall defense. With all that being said, the University of Utah currently has the 9th ranked defense. They're allowing 277 yards per game, 4.79 yards per play, and have only allowed 9 touchdowns to date.
Wow.
So, to just dive into it a little bit more, USC has the 92nd ranked defense in the country. The Utes haven't even faced a defense that bad yet.
Really?
Yeah. Utah has played Florida, Baylor, Weber State obviously doesn't count. UCLA, Oregon State, and California.
Go Wildcats.
The worst defense they've faced so far was last week against Cal.
Right.
And the Utes offense actually didn't look terrible.
No, they didn't.
Right. And Cal has the 84th ranked defense. So I'm telling you, man, I mean, this USC defense has played 491 snaps so far. The Utes defense has only played 348.
Okay.
So the Utes defense has a lot less use on them. They're going to be ready to go against Caleb Williams. They're going to be ready to go against this high-powered offense. And I think if we can get to the quarterback, Utah has a chance to win this football game.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yep.
So USC beating the back-to-back conference champions would go a long way to make their case for Vegas. However, with the Utes losing to Oregon State, the Beavers, right? A more important game for the Utes would be Utes versus Oregon. That's going to be really the more important game on the schedule. But, however, it would be great to associate that with a UCS win to kind of push them back into the top of the conference conversation there. Okay, so Utah, you got USC high-powered offense versus a Utes suffocating defense. We do have the over-under on this one is 57.5. Are you taking the over-under this time?
I'm going to take the over on this one.
Okay.
Just because, again, the Utes had some luck last week against that Cal defense.
Mm-hmm.
The USC defense is, I mean, on paper, not even that good. I think we found something in Sione Vaki. I think Bryson Barnes continues with some of his momentum. I think the Utes put some points on the board. It's the only chance they have to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we can put some points on the board, I think I'm going to take the over.
Gotcha. Do you think Nate Johnson starts this game?
No, sir. Bryson Barnes
all the way?
Yep.
Okay. Coming back okay after that, getting shot pretty hit?
Yeah, I mean, he played last week against Cal.
Yeah, so pretty well.
Yeah,
pretty well.
And he played pretty well.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you there. I mean, I do think that I wouldn't mind seeing Nate Johnson against, a lower ranked defensive opponent. Like you said, they haven't played anybody with this bad a defense before. I'd like to see, an opportunity for that part of the playbook to be opened up to him to see what he can do. Again, that kid has not thrown an interception this year. So the fact that he hasn't really had a chance to really let it go would be nice to see what we have there. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be Bryson Barnes all the way there. We want to know what you think, folks. Please let us know in the comments down below. What are you taking out of this? Do you think the Utes pull it out? They are, like you said, they are 7-point underdogs in this game with the over-under line at 57.5. You're taking the over this time?
I'm going to take the over.
Okay, I'll take the under just so we have, something going on there. You guys let us know which way you're going over under on that line, and do you think Utah has a chance to win this one? So let us know for sure. Let's go ahead and pivot over to a more interesting conversation that we should have. Not a more interesting conversation, but another.
Sounds like there's something more interesting than the game this week, Darren. Come on.
Let's talk about Cam Rising.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you heard the interview that they had with his surgeon.
I did not, actually.
About 2 weeks ago. He basically broke down what was right. He got permission from Cam to talk about it. And so he broke down the injury, broke down what really happened. That's what we talked about last week, how it was not only the ACL, but the MCL and the metacarpal, and basically just totally jacked up his knee, right? As of last week, it was 9 months from surgery.
Right.
As of last week, which is, again, not very long ago.
Very fast.
Not very, very fast. But what he did say in that interview, and keep in mind, as of time of recording, this was 2 weeks ago. At the time of recording, he said he is a week to maybe 2 weeks away from being ready, which would put him available versus USC. Do you think we see Cam Rising play against USC?
If we see Cam Rising, I personally, no, I don't think so. And my poor Utes heart has been burned too many times. I can't even accept the thought that we're going to see Cam Rising because I can't do it anymore. I fully accepted Bryson Barnes is going to be the quarterback. If we do see Cam Rising, it would be absolutely fantastic, obviously. And at that point, you better be taking the over because the Utes are going to score some points.
That's right. And I say I don't think we see Cam Rising play this year at all. I think he's done. I think if we were going to see him, it would have happened. If we are going to see him, I think you were right that it would be penciled in probably against Cal because it would be the softest landing spot in conference for him to really get up and get going because there's no way he's coming into top 10 quarterback in the league type form fresh out the gate. He's going to have some issues. So, I don't think we see him at all. And then with that said, let's say we don't see him against USC. Do you think it's time that I don't know if you heard Cal Williamson's conversations that he had in the press conference on Monday? He said that he believes that both not only Cam but also
Brant Keefe.
Yeah, Brant Keefe could get medical red shirts. He said it's a slam dunk that they can get it. I'm the type of guy who likes to read between the tea leaves whenever Whittingham speaks, and something tells me that he thinks that that's going to be the case, and he wants those guys back for next year. Do you think the Utes should look into redshirting, medical redshirting both Cam and Keefe?
I think it's something that if Cam is not ready this week and the Utes somehow pull out a win against USC, I think you have to look at activating Cam, because if you beat USC without Cam Rising, I mean, yeah, that obviously says, oh, maybe we can beat everybody without Cam Rising. The chances are no, right? Like you're not going to get through Oregon. You're not going to get through Washington.
No,
you're not going to get through Colorado. Like we could see some really rough times here pretty soon as Utes fans if we don't get Cam Rising back on the field soon. So if we don't have Cam and we beat USC and Cam's available next week, you have to look at putting him on the field, because you still have a chance for a conference title at that point.
Right.
If you lose against USC this week with no Cam, don't bring him out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's shut it down for the season, shut her down, and let's get a full Cam, full strength, full season next year. First season in the Big 12. And let's plan on winning some football games.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
That's the way I look at it too. I think if you do get a chance to, if you do somehow squeak out a win this week, you can't really just say, okay, we'll still shut them down anyway. Because just like you said, that's going to be a gauntlet for sure.
But some of that's going to be up to Cam, though. You know what I mean? I think some of it's going to be Cam's opinion, dude, because realistically, if he doesn't think he can get enough football games to impress NFL scouts, if he plays in games this year and doesn't get a medical red shirt, his eligibility is over.
Right. Well, that not only that, but yeah, I mean, I think another year of NIL play, another year of NIL money, in the Big 12 will go a long way. You know, whether he has a good season or not.
Boys are millionaires either way, dude.
Yeah, I think he's going to be perfectly okay being drafted in the second or third round with another year of NIL money.
Yep.
You know, but I honestly do believe that the best shot for him to get drafted in the first round or get a high draft would be to have a good year with Utah.
Yep.
Whether it be coming out of this year, Pac-12 champions for the last time, or be going into the Big 12 and making some noise and making a run at that conference championship.
I totally agree.
All right. Once again, folks, we'd like to hear what you believe. What you believe. We'd like to hear what you think. So please let us know in the comments down below. We are on the grind to 1,000.
100. We've already reached 100, Darren.
Yeah, we've done that 4 times.
We
are on the grind to 1,000 subscribers. As you know, we are doing a giveaway. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue back to our subscribers. 5 subscribers will each earn $100. So make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. You got anything else on the University of Utah?
Final thought. Keep USC off the field. Manage the clock. Score points. And don't allow Caleb Williams to beat you.
That's right. I think my final thought is keep the defense off the field for the University of Utah. You got to control the ball, keep the ball on the offensive hand.
Absolutely.
Because we don't need them to get tired out.
Exactly.
So, all right. Again, let us know, folks, what you think. And go Utes.
Go Utes.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about Major League Baseball, shall we?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's go ahead and first talk about recapping the postseason so far. Right now, we're in the Championship League Series. Right now, we have in the American League, we have the Texas Rangers versus the Houston Astros.
Yes, sir.
Texas leads this series 2-0, with Max Scherzer on the mound for Texas Rangers for Game 3.
Crazy. How long has he been out for?
About a month.
Wow.
Yeah, muscle strain. He's been
and
out
all of a sudden he's back and ready to go, huh?
He's ready to go for the championship series. So good for him, man. Good for him.
Yep.
You know, hopefully won't be complaining about dead arm in a couple of weeks. So all my Dodger fans know exactly what I'm talking about there. But here's an interesting stat about the Texas Rangers. You want to hear this one?
I do.
So the Texas Rangers have won 7 straight playoff games this season. They have not lost yet.
That seems crazy.
Yeah. First, they swept the Rays.
Yeah.
Right? We covered that in the wild card round. They then went to play against Baltimore, who had the #1 record in the American League. They swept those guys 3-0. And now They won 2 straight against the Houston Astros in Houston.
That's a lot of momentum.
That's a lot of winning, and that's a lot of winning on the road.
That's a lot of momentum, especially to try to take down a team and beat them 4 out of 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You win 7 in a row, and then to try to think they're going to lose 4 out of the next 7, I just don't see it, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, 100% agree, but it's not the first time. That's a great point. This is not the first time that Houston's been down 2-0 and came back.
Right.
They did also almost come back. They pushed it to a game 7 against the Tampa Bay Rays in 2020. The Rays did end up winning that game, so they were just 1 game away from that one.
Crazy.
But they were 1 out away becoming the first team since the Boston Red Sox to do it against the Yankees. So pretty crazy. So, but yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think that the Rangers come out of this one sweeping this series. I do think the Houston Astros will win some games here.
A game.
A game, maybe 2. I don't know. This is the Houston Astros, man. They're the only team that has pretty much, proven to be a postseason winner while dominating the regular season at the same time, which makes me want to throw up my mouth to say, but it is the case. So if there's a chance that somebody's going to win some games here, I think that the Astros have a shot. But honestly, I do pick Texas to come out of this one pretty well. Let's go ahead and sift over to the National League, shall we?
Yep.
All right, now this one kind of hurts us both a little bit.
A lot of bit.
We have the Phillies who have a 2-0. We have the Phillies that have a 2-0 lead against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Boo for you.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so that one's 2-0 going into Arizona. What do you think about this series so far between Phillies and Arizona? Do you think Arizona has a shot to make a series out of this?
I unfortunately do not think so.
Okay.
The Phillies just look really, really tough. I mean, dude, they ran through my Braves like butter.
Yeah.
And they looked really good doing it. I mean, the offense was just absolutely on point. I mean, they hit all the Braves aces. Again, we're going to dive into that in a minute, but
yeah,
I just don't know if Arizona's quite got enough to really compete with this super talented offensive Phillies team.
Yeah, I'd be super surprised if the Diamondbacks get a win in this one.
Yeah.
They got Zach Gallen, but I do see that I do pretty much think that the Phillies are just going to run through this team. Game 3 is tomorrow night in Arizona for the first game of that series, but yeah, I don't really think they stand a shot. It's pretty one-sided. What do you think?
I agree.
Sorry, Diamondbacks fans.
Unfortunately, I watched the Phillies and Braves, and it was painful.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Arizona's got enough, man.
Yeah, let us know down in the comments, folks. Let us know what you think. Phillies fans, we pretty much know what you think there. You guys definitely made it quite clear to Arcia there in the Braves series what you think. Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely let us know in the comments down below. Diamondbacks fans, let us know if you think they have a shot to get a win in this series or even make a series out of it. Also, Rangers fans, Astros fans, let us know in the comments down below. Let us know what you think. Where we think this one's going to go for sure.
Yep.
Keep in mind, folks, we are on the grind to 1,000 subscribers. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away the first $500 we earn in YouTube AdSense revenue back to our subscribers. 5 subscribers will each earn $100. So make sure you're subscribed and don't miss out on that.
Absolutely. We look forward to it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and pivot over and talk, do a little bit of a therapy session. What do you think? Let's do a little therapy. Let's do a little woo-saw on this. And what I want to do is we're going to do a video where we're going to kind of have a therapy session. We're just going to air it all out and get all our grievances out on our favorite teams. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with the Atlanta Braves. So now, do you want me to go into how good the Braves were, or do you want me just to straight up ask you what went wrong?
Well, I'm gonna go a little bit of both.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Run your line. Let's hear it.
Okay. So I'm just gonna start out and say the Braves and Phillies played 13 times this regular season. Okay.
I see where this is going.
The Braves win 8 of these games. The Phillies win 5 of them. Some of the situation in these games comes up with the pitcher that the Phillies face more than anybody else happens to be Spencer Strider.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Phillies face him 4 times of these 13 games. 4 times. They faced Fried, who obviously they play again once, right, and Elder they faced twice. So they faced Strider the most of these pitchers.
Okay.
Game 1 happens. Okay. And the Braves look like absolute burning dumpster fire. They end up with 5 total hits. Bryce Harper hits a home run in the 6th. Trey Turner scores on an error by Sean Murphy. And the big gleaming stat in this whole thing is Acuna goes 0 for 3 with a walk.
Well, he got on base.
He gets any. I mean, he also stole a base in that game.
Yeah, because apparently that matters.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
So Phillies 1-0.
Okay.
Game 2. Braves win. Yay. Fantastic. Unfortunately, the Braves only have 4 hits in this game.
Yeah, they're out hit.
4 hits. 4.
Yeah, they were out hit 9-4 in that game.
My gosh.
Conveniently, 2 of those were home runs, though, so that does help.
So, yeah, they were home runs, and the game ends on a freak double play in the outfield where Bryce Harper's caught rounding second or almost a second and is thrown out from the outfield.
He was rounding. He was definitely on his way to third.
So Bryce Harper gets thrown out.
Yeah, heads up play by Austin Riley, though. There's no way he would have made it back if he didn't pick that up off the ground and just throw it on the money, on the move. Heads up play by Austin Riley.
Once again, Acuna Jr. 0 for 2 with a walk.
Did he steal a base?
Fried pitches. I think so in that game. Also, yeah. Fried pitches this one. Braves win. Ties up the series. All hopes found in Braves land. We're good to go. Unfortunately, game 3 happens where the Braves get absolutely annihilated.
Before we get into game 3, let's talk about what happened in game 2 after the game.
Okay, so game 2, Bryce Harper gets obviously thrown out.
Right.
And he hears the second baseman say, "Attaboy, Bryce."
Yeah. From the locker room.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother conversation I want to have with you, by the way, that we definitely got to talk about that. There's a sanctity of the locker room. There's about 50 other new reporters in there that aren't normally there.
Yep.
And it is a safe space. You should be able to shout "Attaboy, Bryce," to your teammates. Everybody talks crap on other players in their clubhouse, but in this case, I think you might have pushed a button.
I think what he did was maybe pushed a button to start an absolute forest fire.
Yeah, you didn't
because Bryce Harper never looks back the rest of the series.
No, you don't poke the bear, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about Bryce Harper. All right, so go ahead and go into game 3, by the way.
So game 3. The Braves actually do okay in this game, right? They get 10 hits, but unfortunately they give up 6 runs in the 3rd inning.
Right, which doesn't help.
Which doesn't help because you're playing from behind the whole game. Acuna goes 2 for 5 this game. And
did he steal any bases?
I think he stole. I think he stole one in this one as well.
It's really important to Braves fans this year.
But the Braves get clobbered.
Okay.
They lose 2-10. Series is 2-1, and they didn't look very good at all.
Okay.
So at this point, all the momentum is pretty much gone from this team. Like they actually look defeated at the end of game 3. They go out there for game 4. Surprise! Philly wins 1-3 or 3-1. The Braves only have 5 hits. The only Braves run is an Austin Riley home run, and the Braves end up giving up home runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings.
Wow.
So
Justin Turner, Bryce Harper twice.
Yep.
If I remember right.
Yep. And Acuna goes 0 for 4.
Oh, okay.
So Max Strider pitches. I mean, he only gives up 3 runs. That's really not terrible.
No.
But the Braves offense was absolutely non-existent in this whole series, dude. So just to recap, 5 hits in the first game, 4 hits in the second game, 10 hits in the third game, 5 hits in the fourth game.
Wow.
That's just absolutely pathetic, man. I mean, they just could not figure out how to hit the ball.
You want to know what's going to twist that knife a little deeper on that?
What?
The Braves had a 501 slugging percentage.
Ouch.
Do you know what that is? That is the best in Major League Baseball history. The Murderers Row Yankees weren't as good.
Ouch.
As the Atlanta Braves offense.
It was non-existent in this Phillies series.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Absolutely gone.
Yeah. And also, Matt Ellison set the Braves record for most home runs by a Brave player with 54 home runs this season. Yeah, they definitely had a whole lot of home runs. And on the pitching side, Strider broke the season single record for most strikeouts. So he's the strikeout king in Major League Baseball right now this year. So, yeah, I mean, and you also have the more than likely the MVP, which is going to be Raul Acuna. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. So what happened? What went wrong?
I mean, offense was just absolute. I mean, for being a team that, like you said, had just this fantastic offensive performance all year. They could hit the ball. Everybody could hit the ball with power. They just didn't have it, dude. I mean, I don't know if I mean, the pitching wasn't fantastic. The offense was just terrible. I mean, and really, I mean, the Braves pitching wasn't even that bad.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they gave up 3 runs, 5 runs. Okay, game 3 with Elder, that was a little bit rough, right? He gives up 6 in the 3rd inning. But I mean, then Strider again only gives up 3 runs, and the Braves lose all these games. It's 100%. They just could not get the bats going.
Yeah. Wow. That's tough, man. That's really tough. Yeah. So I think the worst part is even in the game they won, they didn't get their first hit into the 6th inning.
Yeah. That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So the only 2 teams to actually have multiple base hits, multiple extra base hits in this series were Ozzie Albies and Austin Riley for the Atlanta Braves, which I thought was crazy. So I don't know. I think Orlando Arcia basically poked the bear. I think that's kind of what really did it. You know, you win one game and you start,
maybe a little much
pumping the fist. It's kind of like what Aaron Judge did when he taunted, I believe it's the Red Sox. He walked past the Red Sox dugout, blasting New York on a speaker, and then he went back and just got their butts kicked and lost the series.
A great idea. Yeah.
So I don't know. There's definitely lots of reasons, man. I don't really understood what really happened there. To me, I think the Braves were in the best position to do some serious damage this year. They had the best team, the best National League. They had the best record in the National League. They literally, they dominated the Braves. I'm sorry, the Braves dominated Philly this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is not the first year this happened, though. So the Braves finished way ahead of the Phillies last year. No big deal. Phillies beat them last year
again
in the championship series, and they go on to play in the World Series. This year, the exact same thing happens, except the Braves are historically the best offensive team in baseball history, which is, nothing slight to say. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, tell me what you think on that. Like, what do you think? How do you fix it?
I mean, I don't know how you fix just bad offense over a 4-game stretch, right? I mean, you're going to have a 4-game stretch at points in your season where you just can't hit the ball. It really hurts when your number 1 player and the MVP front runner cannot get anything going for this team when you need him, right? I mean, he's the leadoff hitter, and he just couldn't get anything going, man. I mean, you got to have somebody that steps up. And I mean, realistically, without Austin Riley, I mean, some of these games aren't even as close as they really are. Austin Riley was a shining star in this series.
Yeah. And
so,
the big reason behind that is I think the other key piece there that really kind of separates this game and why I think the Braves were kind of due from the start here is that obviously the Phillies came in slugging, right?
Yep.
And your bats are cold, right? You're not hitting it out of the yard.
Well, I think it doesn't help when you have a week off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. Did you hear Strider's comments on that? He said, we're all professional athletes. If you're going to argue the fact that you have 5 days off and you can't come ready to play, you don't deserve to win the championship anyway.
Right.
I'm summarizing, so forgive me on that one, but that's basically what he said. And I can kind of agree with him. It does throw off your timing. Like if you're a professional baseball team and you go 5 games without swinging a bat, it will throw off your timing. But again, I'll go back to the Houston Astros, who had the same 5 days off, and they didn't seem to bother them. They had it last year, and they won the World Series. So
they used it to their advantage, like everybody says they should.
Yeah. So you got to somehow figure out a way to keep your bats fresh, and I think that was a mistake of the coaching staff and the front office. They didn't come up with a way to keep it fresh. I also think the problem is situational hitting. Like you hit it on perfectly with Ozzie Albies and Austin Riley. Those were the 2 that actually got extra base hits and really put in the effort to just basically do some bat to ball contact at baseball. From what I really saw Acuna Jr. and Matt Olson just trying to swing for the fence and win the game.
Just swinging hard, yeah.
Just trying to put the ball as far as they can in the yard and see if they can hit it out. So I don't know. It's tough, man. It's a tough way to go, but
sure is.
I'm looking forward to next year. Oh, but you did hear over the series, though, there was a change of ownership for the Atlanta Braves. Did you hear about this?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it's now official. The Philadelphia Phillies now own the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, wow. Too soon. Let's hear about the Dodgers.
But no, before we get in the Dodgers, I do want to say this, that to both the Phillies, so both the Braves and the Dodgers have this exact same problem. I don't care how much you win your division by. I don't care if you have 100 wins.
Means nothing when it comes to postseason time.
Atlanta Braves, your season does not matter to me until you beat the Phillies.
Yep.
Like you have to go through the Phillies. And if the Phillies aren't in the playoffs, then fine. But then you have to, but until, there's a lot of like high points for this Braves team. They won the World Series 2 years ago. So, they're coming
not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
But it's just to lose this way to the same team back to back when you have the better team, just kind of pleasurable play. There's
the better team that looks better for the majority of the year.
Right.
But when it comes to 4 games, you can't put together 3.
Yeah, exactly.
You had 3 chances to win 5 games.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. So anyway, let us know in the comments down below, folks. If you're a Braves fan, air your grievances out, man. Let's hear it. Let's hear all the mud. Let's hear you throw out, management, bad pitching, bad bullpen management,
all of it,
bad front office, analytics. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. We'd love to hear it. And we'll chat with you down there and let you know, and then kind of just agree with you and let us know if we missed anything on this takeaway here.
Yep.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and switch over to the Dodgers, shall we?
Yep. I'm ready. Let's hear it, Darren.
Before we do the Dodgers, let me quickly say this. If you have a team that you'd like us to do an air grievances for, let us know in the comments down below. If you're a Yankees fan, Mets fan, and you want us to do the same thing and say, hey, with a what went wrong video, we'll definitely do that for you.
Absolutely.
Let us know.
Let us know who. We'll dive in and tell you what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have the exact same therapy session for your favorite team. So let's go ahead and move on over to the Los Angeles Dodgers. So let's go ahead and first, I want to do exactly what you did there. And let's talk a little bit about how great they were this season, right?
Yep.
So the Los Angeles Dodgers have won 10 out of the last 11 division series. Like they won their division 10 out of the last 11 years. And in that division that they did in that year, they didn't win the division. They had 106 wins and they immediately beat the team that beat them by 1 game in the regular season, which was the Giants. They beat them in the first round. So
that's pretty impressive.
That's some domination baseball.
Yeah.
So now they've been the most winningest team in baseball in the last decade. So this is a team of dominance. And the only World Series they have to show for it right now is a shortened season 2020 World Series championship. Now, I will say that it does count. Every team had a chance to win that one, right? And you actually had to win 2 more games to win that World Series than any World Series in history.
For the record, this is coming from AJ constantly saying that the 2020 Lakers championship doesn't count.
Right. Which I'll argue they're different. I definitely think they're different.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with that said, does that count as much as any other regular World Series? Absolutely not. Like a regular World Series won in 1983 counts more than the 2020 World Series. So until you win with a 162 game schedule, it just doesn't matter as much. So I 100% agree with that.
There's just an asterisk. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely to it. So, but yeah. So the Dodgers come into this somehow winning 100 games this season. And they face exactly what they did last year. So this is another similarity between the Dodgers and the Braves. They both repeated the exact same problem in 2 years in a row. So the Dodgers come in.
Struggle's real.
Yes, the Dodgers come in, winning their division by more than 10 games, and they immediately lose to the next team in the division that was more than 10 games behind them in the regular season. What's worse about this year is they got swept by a team in the Arizona Diamondbacks versus they at least won 1 game against the San Diego Padres last year.
That'll make you angry.
That'll make you very much angry. In a decade of dominance in baseball, where the Dodgers have made the World Series 3 years. Now, one, you can say, yes, 2017, completely different scenario. The Astros were cheating. Who knows what that game would have been.
Cheaters.
Yeah. Probably would have gotten the ring there, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't matter. They didn't take the championship away, so it is what it is. And, in 5 years from now, no one's going to remember the cheating Astros, So you didn't get a chance to win there. You made it to the World Series in 2018, which I honestly would think that they don't even deserve to be in that one, but somehow they lucked out and got past the Milwaukee Brewers and somehow found their way to the World Series and just got dumped on by the Red Sox.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Max Muncy hitting a home run in the 18th freaking inning of that game in LA, the Dodgers wouldn't even won a game. So, but let's go ahead and pull back here and let me talk about why I think the Dodgers lost this year.
Okay.
And it all starts with starting pitching. So let's talk about the starting rotation for the Los Angeles Dodgers when this season started. You had Clayton Kershaw, Julio Urias, Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, and they would have a fifth starter in either Bobby Miller, Michael Grove, or I believe there's another one that they were thinking of, but pretty solid rotation, right? You have a bunch of all-stars there, Tony Gonsolin, Clayton Kershaw, first ballot Hall of Famer. So you definitely had Dustin May has ace material, frontline star coming off of Tommy John surgery. They looked good. The starting pitcher for the Dodgers looked good. So Dustin May was supposed to come off and have a breakout year, but he goes out with an elbow injury within the first couple starts. He's out for the rest of the year. Walker Buehler, who's wanted to return back in September, never made it, never returned. All-star Tony Gonsolin, he goes down halfway through the season with Tommy John surgery. He's out for the rest of the year.
Jeez, I didn't realize the Dodgers were battling so many injuries.
No, we're not done. Clayton Kershaw goes out with a shoulder injury and misses almost 3 months. And when he comes back, he's a shell of himself and barely can throw 90 miles an hour.
Weak-ass shoulder.
That's your game 1 starter for the playoffs, by the way.
Yep.
And then Julio Urias, the game 1 starter for the season, which is the ace kind of designation. And when you start for your opening day, you start your ace. Gets arrested and is released from Major League Baseball. So
perfect.
Yeah. And so the Dodgers do try to go out and get Justin Verlander, who had a no trade clause, who decided he's going back to Houston or nowhere else. So he goes back to Houston. They try to get Julio Eduardo Rodriguez, Erod. And he just doesn't want to win and decides to stay in Detroit. So that trade goes through. And so they grasp for straws and they grab the only pitcher they can, which was Lance Lynn, Mr. BP himself, Mr. Home Run Derby pitcher himself. And that's who you have. So then from there, they have
Lynn, for the record, though, Lynn does get traded and has a few really good games.
Yes. I think it was 3 before the wheels came off.
Still, 3 games. You got to be happy with that, right? I mean, did you want a whole half a season out of him?
I would have liked at least something respectable to going through 5 innings without giving up 3 home runs in every start.
Right.
That's not asking too much.
No, it's not.
But yeah, so the Dodgers set the record for most starts by NL team for pitchers this season. They started 5 rookies for starting pitching this season. And yeah, that happened in the postseason. We had Bobby Miller, who was lights out during the regular season, did have a game 2 start, but also got lit up in the first inning of his start as well. Gave up 3 runs. Clayton Kershaw gave up 6 runs in a third of an inning, by far the worst of his career. But honestly, like I said in a previous video, he was hurt.
Right.
He was already hurt. Nothing doing, right? And let's go ahead. That's pitching. So in my opinion, the Dodgers had no business being in the playoffs this year with having that kind of luck when it comes to starting pitching.
Right.
They had no business being in the playoffs at all. It just kind of speaks to the depth of the division that they somehow still pulled out 100 wins and still made it to still got a first week bye. I agree with you. A little bit of rest there probably didn't help. Bats got cold. But in the MVP race, the NL MVP race, there were top 3 were Ronald Acuna, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. Those were the top 3.
Right.
So number 2, number 3 candidates for MVP this season. Guess what they went for in the playoffs?
What?
1 for 21.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
That's hurty.
Yeah.
That's painful.
Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna were definitely better than that. And the fact and that one hit was a legged out single from Freddie Freeman, who tripped over the bag and almost got injured.
I'm going to be honest with you. I do not know that Matt Olson and Acuna were better than that.
But yeah.
It's probably pretty close.
Yeah. So for me, they just epically failed on that. Again, same with you. You talked about Albies and Riley being the heart of your team. The players that came out to play were CT3 and our boy Kike. They're the only ones who
Kike.
They're the only ones who have multi-hit games. They're the only ones that actually had extra base hits in this series for the Dodgers. It was an epic failure across the board. The front office built a team based off of analytics to win 100 games during the regular season, to win the division, and they're just hoping that works in the postseason. Guess what? In the postseason, analytics mean jack squat.
That's correct.
You've got to follow. You got to keep the hot arm in there. You got to pull your ace, a first ballot Hall of Famer, after he gives it the first 3 runs in the first inning. You pull him out. He's not getting out of there.
Yeah.
Do the same thing for your rookie. You pull him out. You save his arm. So he doesn't. So if you somehow do win this game, you get a chance to use him later. Just bad management decisions done by analytics for a team that has a historical 10-year run of winning based off of analytics. The only team that has a longer tenure of winning the division and not winning a World Series, only winning 1 World Series. Do you know what that team is?
The Braves.
Exactly. The Atlanta Braves. During the time you really liked, during the Smoltz team. But hey, at least your team had pitching then.
They had a shit ton of pitching.
They had a shit ton of pitching. So what's your take on the Dodgers and what you think so far on that whole thing?
I mean, it hurts my soul to know that like they could lose that much pitching, A, in one season, and then B, for Kershaw to just get hammered in that first game, and they just let him in there and continued to let him just beat that down, dude. Like poor Kershaw. I don't know. I mean, like you said, the statistically bad bats is really rough to watch as a Dodgers fan. But I just want you to know, I went through the same thing as a Braves fan, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We both just watched the offense, just the wheels, all 4 come off at the same time. We're just sitting on the ground.
Right.
So I feel you. That was a rough series to watch for both of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So here's my solution to fix Major League Base, to fix the Dodgers going forward.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Sign some pitchers.
Sign anybody.
Sign some pitchers. Okay. That's what it is. You hear me, Andrew Freeman, president of baseball operations. Can you hear me? Is this on? Can you hear me?
It's on.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Great. Sign some pitching. Shine starting pitching. Do go and pay the best arms you can get and get them on this team. Well, he's not pitching next year.
Not going to work.
But I do think you still need to sign Shohei. But they didn't help themselves this year in landing him. This kind of epic collapse is just, it's just one step better than what the Angels usually do.
I was going to say, he could do that just as good as the Angels.
Yeah. Well, you actually would have to get there.
He's already got a house there.
Yeah. You have to get there first, though. You have to make it to the playoffs first. I don't think the Angels
I think getting to the playoffs is just the same as going out in the first round of the playoffs.
Very true. Very, very true. Well, technically now it was the second round because we have the wild card division. So
true.
Yeah, so we have saving graces there.
Solid.
But yeah, but let us know in the comments down below, folks. Let us know what you think if you're a Dodgers fan. Did we cover it? Did we hit all the bases there on the Epic's collapse? I mean, the Dodgers didn't touch any bases. I don't even think they got 1 to 3rd in this series. But anyway, let us know in the comments down below if we missed anything, if there's something else that you'd like to cover. Also, folks, if you are a baseball fan and you'd like to have an air grievance, a therapy session, as it will, let us know who your team is in the comments down below, and we will research it and we will do a what went wrong video for your team as well. And you can, mourn with us and we'll have a therapy session for you and your fan base.
Let us know. We love it. We'd love to research your favorite team and tell you and break it down exactly what went wrong.
Yeah. So pretty crazy that we both had historically great teams this year. I mean, not
followed by historically great collapses.
Yeah. Historically great collapses. I mean, the Dodgers weren't historic. I mean, they've actually had 100 wins 4 out of the last 5 years. The only reason why they didn't have 100 wins is because that was a shortened season with only 60 games. So
hard to have 100 wins in 60 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Very hard.
So anyway, but yeah, so folks, again, I think that does it for us for baseball.
Sure does.
Again, folks, we are on the grind to 1,000 subscribers. We're about 440 somewhere around there right now.
Yep.
So just about 560 to go, and we will be giving away the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue to 5 lucky subscribers. Each one will get $100 each. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and don't miss out on that.
Absolutely. We look forward to giving it away to you guys. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Right. And we're back.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the NBA, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we're in the middle of the preseason here, and we'll get to how the Jazz are doing in the preseason so far. But let's go ahead and first talk a little bit about a little controversy that came up this week.
Yes, sir.
Did you see the Jumpman shirt that was in the Jazz stores?
Yes, sir. The Jumpman jumping straight over the Utah Jazz logo.
Yeah, and just straight up dunking on the Utah Jazz logo.
On the logo.
Yeah. So I don't know what.
We'll put you guys a picture right here.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely go ahead and cover that in case you missed it. It's we'll put that up for you. So give me your first take on that, man. What do you think about the Jordan Jumpman dunk shirt?
My personal opinion, this is the silliest things I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how Jazz fans are upset about this.
Yeah,
It is clearly a shirt made for all NBA teams where the Jumpman logo is over every NBA team name, but I'm a Michael Jordan fan. Even though I'm a Jazz fan, I was a huge Michael Jordan fan. So yeah, no, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see the controversy there.
Yeah, I can get it. I mean, there's a few. If you saw on Twitter, sorry, X. By the way, follow us on Twitter. We just started a Twitter account. Sorry, X. I'm gonna have to get used to that, man.
X, the platform formerly known as Twitter.
Exactly. Follow us on there. We're also on Instagram. Go check it out. We just posted an awesome, also on YouTube Short. We just posted an awesome little thing on for the Utes there.
That's right.
So be sure to check that out. But yeah, so here are some of the takeaways from that. Jordan is literally dunking on our team. Terrible attempt to market the Utah Jazz gear to non-Jazz fans. And also, how dare you? Some of us cried that day. These are some of the comments that's
hilarious.
Yeah. Exactly like you pointed out, though. I think this is a ridiculous thing for Jazz fans to get upset about. Clearly, there's going to be the Jumpman. I mean, Nike has the apparel rights for the NBA this season, so obviously they're going to be promoting the Jordan brand too at the same time. There's going to be a Jumpman. There's going to be an Air Jordan guy dunking over on the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Pistons. Every team is going to have this shirt.
Air Jordan's jumping over everybody.
Yeah. So, and
it's not just us.
Let's face it, that's just how it was in the 90s anyway. So
yeah, it's true.
I don't know, man. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can understand why for jokes on X, I can see why some people would post something like that. But there are people who are legitimately upset about this. And the Jazz actually pulled it off the shelves, for crying out loud. So I don't know. I think it's absolutely silly.
Absolutely silly, dude. That's just craziness. Like, yeah. Get over it.
Exactly.
Get over it. The fact is like the team's done and gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's not even a player. There's not a coach. There's nothing from that team anymore.
Not even the ownership.
This is a whole new Jazz regime.
Yep. The old ladies aren't there anymore.
Michael Jordan doesn't even own a team in the NBA anymore.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. Right.
So I don't know. Get over it.
Definitely. Let us know in the comments down below, folks. I mean, if we're missing something,
we've probably already spent enough time talking about this.
Yeah. Just let us know in the comments down below if you feel differently. Let us know if you were hurt by the Jumpman literally dunking on your Utah Jazz t-shirt. Just let us know what you think. If we missed something there, we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and pivot over to the main subject that we want to talk about with the Utah Jazz, and that is going to be their guard situation. We have a plethora of people playing guard this season.
Yes, sir.
Can you break it down? How many do we have here? We got
three really big. Okay, I said three, but I meant four.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Four. We
Gotcha.
got four. We got Talen Horton-Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Colin Sexton.
Yep.
Keontae George, 3.
Mm-hmm.
KG, 3.
That's right. We coined it.
He coined it. And then we also got Mr. Fantastic Chris Dunn, first-round pick a few years ago.
Absolutely. Now we can kind of go into this. There's a few things we want to touch about on this, but I want to go with let's take an idea of who we think is actually going to start this season for the Utah Jazz. Now, as it sits right now, all things being what they are, I do think THT is going to be starting the point guard position for the Utah Jazz when the season starts in a week.
I disagree.
Okay. Who do you got?
I think Chris Dunn is going to be starting.
Okay.
And I think that, and maybe this is a backwards way of looking at it, but if you look at average minutes played so far in preseason games, Chris Dunn has less minutes played. I think there's less they need to see from Chris Dunn. I think they know what they have with Chris Dunn.
Ooh, that's a good point. That's a very, very good point.
THT has played the second most minutes of any Jazz player, and I think it's because they're still trying to see what they have with THT.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I do think as far as the best player for the Jazz that's going to be in that position, as far as the most efficient throughout the preseason, is Chris Dunn. He has shown the most efficiency at that position. He's averaging 9.3 points per game, 2 assists, 1.5 steals, averaging only 15 minutes per game.
And I think the important thing to remember with Chris Dunn here is he does a lot of things that it doesn't show in our stat sheets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Dunn has a high motor.
Mm-hmm.
He's always on you on defense. Like, yeah, does he get a few steals a game? Absolutely. Does he get a few, maybe deflections? Does he? but he reads passing lanes really well. He moves very good horizontally across the floor to stay with whoever he's defending. And he's just a pest defensively. He does all these things that coaches absolutely love to see. And that's the Chris Dunn that we need out there.
Absolutely.
Right? This dude was a high draft pick, and it's for a reason, man. This dude can really play basketball. And I think he knows that he's got a prime opportunity in front of him to get out there and show that he belongs in the NBA.
I 100% agree. The only reason why I think that THT is going to be the starting point guard, and it's not because they plan on keeping him. That kind of pivots us to the next topic I want to cover, which is the THT. That's what you call it, segue.
Segue.
So THT was floated in a trade with the Houston Rockets for a team. Basically, it was just going to be a salary dump so they can get a couple of draft picks out of it. They ended up making the trade with OKC instead. I guess they made a better offer than what Utah was willing to do, but he was in that trade offer, and he also was rumored to be in several other trade mentions previously that we talked about on a previous episode. So that's why I think he starts, because they're trying to showcase him, because they want to put him in a trade.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking.
I can believe it for that reason. I don't think THT is going to be with the team this whole season. I think the Jazz are looking to start Chris Dunn and move Keontae George pretty much immediately off the bench, and then have him get some playing time with Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton with those, kind of transitioning second units. I think the idea is definitely to turn this offense over to Keontae George at some point and allow him to. I think they want to maximize Keontae George's growth this season, right? We need to know what we have. We need to know what we have immediately.
Yeah.
Because Chris Dunn's a little bit older, but if he can bring the things that we need and all those intangibles, I think you keep rolling with Chris Dunn. And if he's a half step slower and Keontae George is there and he's bringing the things that he needs, I think we're going to see a lot more Keontae George this whole season.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think at some point, I do think the Jazz starting point guard by the end of the season will be Keontae George, KG3, as we coined him on this show. That's right.
Boom.
You heard it here first.
That's right.
And I also do believe there's another guard that will no longer be on this team at that point.
Colin Sexton.
Yes, I definitely think he's going to be in a trade package when the Jazz try to bring in a legit starting point guard for
Damian Lillard.
No.
Oh, I tried that already. I already tried that.
That ship is sailed.
Sorry.
Drew Holiday.
Missed that one too.
Okay, dang it. All right. Well, we'll find one. We'll find
somebody.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, but I think that's how it's going to shake out. Let's talk preseason.
Yeah, let's talk preseason. The Jazz look okay at best. They look kind of all over the place. I haven't seen a ton of consistency. They are still shuffling players in and out to kind of see what they have, I do believe. I'm interested to see what these lineups kind of shake out to be, and who kind of end up in some of these permanent rotations.
Yeah.
And I sincerely hope that some of these players get opportunities to go out there and play some minutes and show what they can do, because I think this Jazz team could be very, very good this year. Still, and you guys can hate all you want. I still think the Jazz could be very, very good this year. And when they are, I'm going to laugh at all of you just like you laughed at me.
Yes, we still believe the Utah Jazz are going to be a playoff team this year. Yeah. Whether it's through the play-in tournament or elsewise, I still think they got a shot at making the playoffs. And honestly, some of these lineups just make no sense. There's on average over 6 minutes a game where the Jazz are playing
like four guards
with Walker Kessler.
Yeah,
they got Obaji, Sexton, KG3, I think Chris Dunn all on the court at the same time. And then you have other games where you have Walker Kessler at the center.
You got Kelly Olynyk.
You got Kelly
Laurie Markkinen. You're like playing the uber-sized package, right?
They're substituting out THT for Kelly Olynyk. In what game does that make sense? Yeah. And sometimes you have the Jazz.
Very comparable games. What do you mean?
Very strange. You got a team that has a 7'1" center, and then a 6'10", 6'11" power forward, and then a 7-footer small forward.
Very confusing.
So, I don't know. It's really, a very confusing team. And I think maybe either they're just trying to figure it out, or I think they're doing it on purpose. I don't know. I think
it's a combination of both, man. I think they're trying to figure it out. And I think they're doing it on purpose to see what kind of works. And everyone has, different tools and different packages that they bring to the table. And I think they're trying to see, whose tools can help other players be better and, kind of help each other create and move forward. And I like the creativity. I kind of like the way that that Coach Will Hardy is going about this. And I think that this is the way that you lead to being a successful basketball team.
Absolutely. They're stacked. They have plenty of draft picks, lots of talent, lots of options. I look forward to the season. It's going to be a lot of fun. As a reminder, folks, you have until the 24th to purchase the Jazz streaming package, where you can get a free set of tickets, as well as a hat and a shirt as well, which are vouchers. So make sure that if you wanted to do that, please be sure to do that. And also, it's just a great time to be a Jazz fan. They're back on K-Jazz. You know, it's good times.
Sure is, my friend.
Delta Center, the whole.
We still got to pick a game.
Yep, we got to do
to
that.
go to.
We got to do that. I still got to buy mine. I better get on that.
You better don't miss out on free Jazz tickets. The same price.
It's the same price. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got anything else on the Utah Jazz?
I don't, man. Pretty quick one. Go Jazz.
Go Jazz. All right, folks. Well, that will do it for us here today at the DNA Sports Recap. As a reminder, folks, this is a podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the full episode is available in podcast form on video underneath our playlist. You'll see that as playlist podcast. It's the only one we got there. You'll be able to see the full episode there. It's also available audio only wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure that you give us a review.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like it, make sure you share it, and make sure you subscribe. Again, we're giving away that money as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're looking forward to getting that money away.
That's right. We're on the grind. If we get this video to 100 likes, we'll give away a t-shirt.
Always, bro. Yeah.
Whatever you guys want.
Smash it.
Let us know. All right, folks. Once again, my name is Darren. That is AJ. And this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time. Motherfuckers.
Not the first 30 seconds. I think we're good.